so I just took these out of the wash, and hopefully my space heater behind me isn't too loud. And I love this. I intentionally did not cut off the strings that were on this before I put them in the washer because I like this. And as I've shared in the past, sorry for the glare, I'm in the laundry room. When I did some other linens I washed, this is what came out from some of the different fabrics and clothing. This, you guys, is gold. This is texture. You can pull it apart, you can cut it apart, you can do all kinds of fun mixed media things with it, using different mediums, like, gel mediums or gesso, whatever it is, to create texture. You can also stitch on it, and you can also dye it again if you want to, or stitch with it, I should say. And you can also, like I was just saying, you can try to coffee dye it or tea and just see if you can get different tone or something. So I've been working on cutting this chunks off. I'm trying to get as long a pieces as I can, just so I have some options on how I want to use it. I'll show this to you, what they look like directly coming out of the washing machine. And I will explain when I have my video camera, because I don't have a lot of time on my phone because Abby takes so many pictures of my washing process and rinsing process for this before I even think about putting it into my washing machine here, which I've done before lots of times. But I wanted to show you this piece real quick. Look at that. This is that expensive oh, how do you call it, tapestry, but like upholstery fabric that was like, I can't remember, like 15 bucks a yard or something. And look how it frayed. Isn't that just awesome? I love it. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna get back to this. Oh, I was gonna show you this too. So many things. Look at the holes, you guys. Isn't that awesome? I did not make those holes. That's just part of the process of the rusting and then putting it through the washing machine. I almost said dishwasher. Isn't that cool? Anyway, I'll show you better once I get these all entangled and they're dried. I just want to kind of show them to you now, and I will see you in a little bit. Hello everyone, Abby here, Purple Cottage Crafts, and welcome back to another video here on my channel. Just a quick thing, if you hear kind of like a noise in the background, well, two noises. One, it's really windy today, and two, I have a space heater going in the motorhome where I'm filming currently, because it is very cold here right now, so I apologize for that, but I wanted to share this with you guys because I was just so excited about the results. So if you have not watched the first video where I was doing the rust dyeing, kind of showing you how I was wrapping up my fabrics and things like that, I will go ahead and link that video below so you can watch that one if you would like. And this is the result of it. All right, so I wanted to go ahead and show you all of the beautiful bits of rusty fabrics. I'm going to move these off to the side. This is amazing stuff right here. This is all the threads and strings and whatnot from me washing the fabric, and I keep this because it's texture, people. It is texture. We can use this in so many different projects, and you can also do some stitching with this. There are some longer pieces that I kind of wrap back up inside here, and so yeah, this is a great thing. So don't get rid of your strings and stuff like that. Now this here, I did not I forgot when I was washing the fabric, doing all the rinses and stuff, I forgot to come back in here and grab these. I didn't want to touch these with my hands because these still have the rust residue on them, but you can see these are the rubber bands and the string that I used. So I will get those rinsed off and soaked and everything, and I can incorporate those into projects too, including the rubber bands, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that when I get to that project. All right, so here is the first one, and these rips and holes, these are completely organic. I did not do that before I put them in the washing machine, and this is what happened, and I just love how it looks, and it's just so cool looking and so soft. And I'm hoping the lighting's okay because it's kind of a overcast day today, so I apologize if it's not. Now I'll chit chat with you as I'm showing these to you, and they smell so good, and I'll tell you how I got to that, and as I'm kind of showing you the different materials. So this is the packaging that was wrapped around our mattress that we purchased online, and it took really well to the rest. I just love the different spots of it, and the just the texture of it feels really good. I wasn't sure if this was going to work out too much with just because I've never worked with this before. I don't even know what it's called because, like I said, it was wrapped around our mattress. But look at that, you guys, against the white. Isn't that cool how you can see the rust spots there? So Lots of fun to be had with that. So my process, I should say. So what I did is in the 2 purple buckets I just split the material that I had, and I just soaked them in some water. And I just kind of put water in the buckets, and then I just, with some gloves on, I was just kind of, agitating it inside the bucket. And then I let it sit like that overnight and outside. And then the next couple days, because I kind of forgot about it, so when I went back outside and I was like, oh, my purple buckets, I totally forgot about this. I got them, and they were a little bit froze, of course, the water, but no matter, it was fine. I was able to get some hot water, and then I just poured it into the buckets and then kind of melted the ice and stuff. And then I dumped it out, and then I filled the buckets back up with some warm water, and then I just added some soap. I used Dawn dish soap, and that's what I put in mine. And I just put that in the buckets, and then it's kind of agitated inside the buckets again with that spoon I was using before. That is solely for, rust dyeing and other projects like that. Look at these holes, you guys. They're so awesome. I love them. And then, oh, look at that. You can see the washer imprint on here. Really, really cool. I love that. So after I let the fabric soak in the Dawn dish soap for a couple days because I forgot about it again. And then I kind of did a couple more rinses, and I would, I was outside when I was doing this, of course. And then I was rinsing, the buckets, draining the buckets out, squeezing the material, getting, as much of the liquid out as I could, because it was still, dirty water, of course, because it was, I'd rusted with it. And so then I kind of repeated that process a few more times. And then after that, then once the water ran clear, because it took me a little bit to do that because I was not using a sink, I was using buckets. And then I went ahead, and once I could smell no more rust on it, I was squeezing the material out onto something white so I could see if it had even a hint of rust, and it was completely gone. And that's when I put it in my washing machine. I almost said dishwasher. I don't know why I keep saying that or wanting to say that. And I ran it through my washing machine with my normal soap and stuff, and I use those Downy Unstoppables, and I put those in there, fabric softener, and then I dried them in the dryer, except for these two here and this material, because I didn't know if it would melt or anything, which is a cool technique, but I didn't want to do that for this particular batch of fabrics. So, and they came out just great, and they smell lovely. So, which is awesome, because, it's nice to have nice smelling things when we're working with projects and stuff. And, oh, look at that. I mean, there is a time and a place for things to kind of smell, rusty or rustic, I suppose, but isn't that just awesome, you guys? So if I would have had access to a, kitchen sink or utility sink, this wouldn't have taken me as long to do, because what I did in the past is I would just soak it in the sink or the utility sink, or sometimes my kitchen sink, and I let it kind of soak there for a few hours, and I come back and, kind of repeat that process of agitating it, adding soap, rinsing it off, and that kind of stuff. But since I was using buckets, it took me a little bit longer this time, including the few days that I forgot, because that's what Abby does. So this was wrapped around one of those pipe screw things, and you can kind of see the lines there. Really, really cool. So in the future, when we're fully moved into the cabin, they are still remodeling the front part, which is the kitchen, living room, that kind of thing. I will have a proper place to film again how I do this process, so you guys can actually see it if you're wanting to see that entire process that I do. There, of course, are tons and tons of videos on YouTube of other people that are doing this process. There are blog posts, there are, photos, on like Pinterest. It'll link you back to videos if they have that. So if you are wanting to see other people's processes, and I'm not saying mine is so unique, because it's not, I'm just saying if you want to see other people now before I can do another batch, you could certainly watch those videos. And I know everybody's process is a little bit different, which is great, because we all get different results. And even if I was to follow the exact same process again, as you know, the results are going to be completely different, because you can't replicate, this kind of thing. And look at that. I just love this. I'm so excited to stitch with this, you guys. I was so tempted the other night to break it out and start working on a project, but I was like, no, Abby, you gotta wait. Gotta show your friends here what it looks like before you start working with it. All right, here's another piece here. And you can kind of see the rubber band marks on some of this right here, which is the markings, you see right there. Really, really cool. Love that. This is some of the muslin, the lighter muslin, so that turned out really well. There's some strings, gotta keep that. And then these were some little scrappy pieces I had, and I don't remember if it was like, I think it was part of the canvas, if I can remember right, but it has a hole there too, which is really, really cool. Love it. There's that one. Ooh, this one you can really see the striations on it from some of the pipe things I wrapped them around. The bolts, I guess they are. Isn't that cool, you guys? It's just so amazing. And this is really great material to stamp on, to kind of give yourself added texture and visual interest to it, because you can stamp on fabric, just in case you have never tried that or didn't know that. I like to kind of share things like that. So if you already knew that, I apologize for telling you something you already knew. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Oh, can't wait. Can't wait to play with this. And then here we have another piece of the cotton. And I'm not even going to iron these. I'm going to leave them as they are. Now, if anybody knows me, you guys know I love to iron. Yes, you heard that right. I love to iron. I'm one of those really oddball people who actually enjoys housework. I love doing laundry, love washing dishes. I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe it's because I grew up with 5 siblings. I'm number 6. And we had daily chores all the time. Every single day we had something to do. And so normally after I wash my linens and stuff, I always iron them. But with this, I'm going to leave it like it is, because that just, you know, kind of that added texture element to it. And I just love it so much. And so I will not be ironing these. But I have a pile of other things I'm going to be ironing, which I'm not sure if that video is going to be up before this one or not. But when we were in Oregon for Thanksgiving, I went to my favorite thrift store, St. Vinny's. I did a little quick video when I was sitting in our truck, and I'll link that below if you want to watch. It's like, I think 2 minutes or something. And I got all those items laundered, and I just need to iron them, but I'm not iron them after I show you guys, because I need to get working on a couple projects that I have, and then I need to finish up a few more that I'm working on. So now this is probably one of my favorite pieces here. This is just your basic cotton. And just because I love the markings on this, I love these markings, and then the natural, you know, organic holes from being washed in the washing machine. I just love this. I love it so much. This is such a great piece. And got some lighter spots here where it was either, you know, balled up in the bath I did, or maybe, you know, it was bundled up more with a string or something like that. And it's just so lovely. I just love it. Oh, actually, this is from the bottom of that metal pan that I'm using. That's what this is, because some of that stuck to the bottom of the bundles, which is great. So that's what that marking is. I just remembered. So there's that piece. This is another favorite. You know, I love them all, but I have a few that are my favorites, and this is another one for sure. I think I like this one actually more than the last one I just showed you. All right, so look at this one. Isn't that just amazing? And there's all these little tiny holes that are, I just can't tell you how excited I am about this. You can see the lines from the string, possibly the rubber band, but I think it's the string just because of the size of it. And look at that. Isn't that just so, so cool? Love it, you guys. I love it. Here's some more of the canvas. So this is awesome. You can just see the marks. This is one of those metal or rusty bars that I wrapped around right here, and you can see that marking right there. Very, very cool. And I love the holes. And of course, this the obvious, this would be a fantastic journal cover. So love that. And then here's some more of just the cotton and the holes. I wasn't expecting the holes, and because when I've done this before, my other washing machine we had back home, there was no agitator. It was just a big round base thing, the tub. And this washing machine we have here has an agitator in the middle. So I don't know if that's why they made the holes. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the process I use, because it was completely different than what I've done in the past. I have no idea, but I love it. And I hope moving forward, I will continue to get these same results. So when I do some eco dyeing and other types of nature dyeing on my different fabrics and textiles. And here is this lovely piece. And I love the frayed edges. Definitely keeping those. Look at that. The markings on here are just divine. I just love these so much, you guys. And if you're watching this video, either you really, really, really like me, or you're really, really, really bored, or you're just as crazy about this kind of stuff as I am. So it's one of those three. And so there's another piece here of the muslin. Just awesome. We're almost done, you guys, in case this is, you're like, hurry up. You can see the markings right there. Love it. Those darker spots. Just some more markings from some of the screws and whatnot. And then I have some thinner strips here, smaller strips, which I love. And there's that. That side, ooh, look at that. And we have another piece of the cotton. I'm excited to give this a try with some of the different vintage linens and even non-vintage linens like bedding, pillowcases, things like that that I've purchased for the purpose to cut up and use. I also collect those items, not new bedding, but vintage linens and whatnot. And some of those are off limits for me to actually do anything with because I'm a collector of that kind of stuff. A lot of antique things, actually. It's been a thing since I was preteen. But anyway, so it'd be fun to kind of experiment with those different fibers and kind of see how that works out. This is just so amazing. Look at the marks. Ah, just love it so much. And here's this other piece of cotton. This just looks like it's just been hung outside in the wind for a while and it just all holes and full of holes and just kind of, you know, looks like it's been weather beaten, and I just love how that looks. Just love it. And then here's the last piece before this one here, and this is another piece of the burlap, or not burlap, the canvas drop cloth. That's what it is. And love the markings on here as well. It's just so cool. All right, and so this is the material that was on the bolt, the long bolts where upholstery fabric and different textiles are at Hobby Lobby. And so I only did a small piece because I wasn't sure how this was going to work, but I only wanted to sacrifice this much because it is expensive and I want to use that material for other projects as well. But look at this fringe, you guys. Look at how cool this is. Now, I did air dry this one. I think I told you that already. Apologize if I did because, you know, Abby forgets sometimes. But this is just so awesome. I just love how this looks. I mean, the detail within the fibers and just the fringe. I mean, even the fringe has that, I took on that rusty effect, and I just love it. It's just so awesome looking. And I love it on the selvage edge here. You can see that it took to the selvage edge lovely as well, and there's just some different variations of the rust in there, and I just love how this turned out, and it's just such a fun piece that I'm going to be able to work with, and I cannot wait. Okay, so you might be thinking to yourself, okay, Abby, we watched you prepare these, we've seen each piece up close after the process was done, but what in the world are you going to be doing with these? And you guys, there are so many things you can do with this. I mean, it's fabric. So anything, any kind of a project or application or use that you would use any kind of fabric on, you can do that with this too. But in my world of textile art, stitching, and journal making, you know, I have some really cool ideas and different techniques and things, how I like to use this type of stuff. Now, I have a current project. It's top secret. I can't tell you about it. I actually got 3. But one of them includes me using some of the fabrics and stuff I rusted back in Oregon. So I need to get back on track and get that one done so I can share it with you. So I can't talk about that one any further, but I do have some other project ideas in mind, and I'm going to be filming myself sharing with you guys how I'm going to be using some of these different materials and textiles in some projects, whether you make journals or you just want to make ephemera or you just want to you know, embellish certain things, and even for cards, all kinds of fun stuff, tags, you know, whatever. But I know that there are some of you out there who've asked, like on my Instagram, or left comments or messages, you know, like, what do you do with this kind of a thing? And so I want to show you what Abby does with it, and you know, how I'm going to incorporate it into my projects with my aesthetic and things like that. So that video will be coming very soon, because I'm already got some things prepared to work on, some of the different stitchy things I want to share with you guys. So thank you so much for watching. So I hope that this was fun and interesting for you guys to see all the different fabrics and how the different rusty metals and bits and bobs I used translated onto the fabric. And if you did not see the first video I did where I was preparing all this, I will have that linked below in case you want to check that out. And remember, don't throw away your strings, you guys. That's amazing gold. This is rusty gold right here, textile gold. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.